Hello sailors and welcome back to the Atlantic. Coming up this week,
The bits have just snapped. Sheared clean out of the boom here. Snapped off, flew over. Quite violent. Oh yes.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
There you go offshore. Like, we're not doing this again. Dolphins have come to play. At least they're having fun.
Morning from the Atlantic again. We're having a lovely Portuguese breakfast of fog, swell and fishing pots. It's an acquired taste, but you do get used to it. We were going to be going to east of Cascais today. We weren't going to go to Cascais because they want €80 a night. Go away. Stupid price. Just east of there, forgetting the name, begins with O, I think. But they got no room for us. They wanted us to ring them this morning. Supposed to be getting 10 to 18 knots from the north today. Got up this morning, wind, little cup things on the top of the mast, not even moving. There is a little bit more wind now we're out here, but not a lot. Another rubbish forecast here. At least it's not coming from the south. We've got the mainsail up. We took some advice from Tom Cumliffe the other week. When you're lowering your mainsails and you've got your reefing lines coming out the leach of your sail, don't bother pulling through the slack. Just hoy them into the stack pack and they're there for the next guy as you use them. Don't do it, waste the time, don't be lazy, pull them through when they're finished and pull them through when you need to use them. We raised the mainsail there and all the reefing lines on the leach were tangled because we hadn't pulled through that bloody slack. And of course over the last couple of days, as wires and ropes and stuff do at night, they have parties and stuff and they get themselves all tangled because they're idiots. So we had to lower the mainsail a bit to take the tension off the leach to then undo that, all whilst dodging a high density of pots, all whilst, I mean, you saw that swell there, nice and flat calm. That's an 8-foot swell, ladies and gentlemen. So doing that in the fog and the swell and the waves was an absolute pain in the derriere, as the French would say. So we're not going, it was going to be a 60 odd mile a day if we'd had the wind. We don't, so we're going to just head down to Peniche, just down the coast, 24 miles. Should be there for a late lunch. I mean, we say we've got a preventer on, which we do, even though we're on a beam reach, we still need the preventer. Is it a tack, is it a jibe? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. But the swell is so significant that it is tacking or jibing us on a beam reach. Unreal. So yeah, that's all just happened in the space of the last 15 minutes. Faye?
Fun times! Living the dream! At least we get steak for tea.
Little Miss Positivity there at the stern of the boat. You stay on the transom and be positive. Goodness gracious! Need a cup of tea, man. So we've been in this prevailing northwesterly swell now for 2.5 months. Every day comes from the northwest. You're doing the northern tip of Spain or northern coast of Spain. It's on your starboard bow. And then when you're coming down Portugal, it's on your starboard quarter. And it never stops. And it slowly breaks you down. And it slowly breaks your boat down. In A Coruña, or in northern Spain, the autopilot pin snapped, such was the swell pressure. And then we've just had another victim now, which is where our preventer was attached. This is where it was attached to, and the rivets have just snapped. Sheared clean out of the boom here. Snapped off, flew over. Quite violent. Tried to get the mainsail in a position whereby we could just sail, but the swell's too much. The swell is just violently throwing the boom from side to side. It's just impossible. So we had to lower the mainsail because we can't put a preventer on it now. Well, we're motoring along. It's been a tough start of the day. Talking to a few people around the marina and stuff. You get honest sailors and you get people who think they've just got to be hard and put on a facade. And the honest sailors have all had enough of this. The ones that have spent time here anyway, if you're just whacking through at 200 miles a day, fair enough, you know. You're probably thinking, oh yeah, it was all right, it was just a few days. You're out here for a couple of months, it does wear you down, like, and I'm, for one, sick of this swell. And of course, the solution to all of this would be to go offshore, to go off the continental shelf, where you simply don't get this swell. You might get some waves if there's some big wind, but you ain't going to get this swell, that's a fact. But we can't do that because of the killer whales out there that have been left to freely hunt poor unsuspecting sailing victims. So this is what they put you through now. Bring on Cape St. Vincent. Once we get around Cape St. Vincent, we should be saying bye-bye to this swell for a little bit. Not a moment too soon. What the hell is that? We've got a fog bow or something. Anyone ever seen anything like that before? I haven't. Fog bow. Managed to get the Genoa out. It's backing a bit every time the swell comes through, so approximately every 6 to 7 seconds. But it has given us an extra knot. So it's doing some work. We are looking forward to getting into Peniche. Peniche, whatever. Jesus, man. Every time I try to pronounce something in Portuguese, I get it wrong. It's because it's a difficult language. Yui Bear.
He's getting some belly rubs.
Yeah.
You're doing alright, baby girl. I think you're doing the best of the three of us, aren't you?
I think she is.
Or the four of us.
Yeah. She's, whoop, yeah, bugger. She's just been a snoozy. She doesn't like it. She knows when we don't like it, and I just genuinely don't think she likes it when the boat moves like this, to be honest with you. Genoa's struggling, we're all bloody struggling. Relentless. Just relentless. Where's all the swell now?
Every time, just keep recording.
I know, keep the camera out because then you don't get any swell at all.
It totally flattened there.
It does, it's great.
And by totally flattened, I meant it went from 8 foot to 6 foot.
Yeah, but it has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You see, is camera shy. Okay, well, I think we could probably record until we get there. This is the effect.
Yeah.
This is the flattest bit we've had in the entire passage. You're Yui. Of course, I've sat down now, so that means Yui's here. Yui! 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 What are you doing? There's my baby. Quick shake. Oh, yes.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Bloody hell.
There you go. And that's what it was like every 5 seconds there for bloody ages. Finally one come through. Mental, that wasn't it?
That was...
Big one. Big one. This is great. This is great.
It's awesome.
This
I mean,
is swell. Hey!
It's so nice. I'm talking about, like, if we take Richard back to England, let's just get crew and go offshore. Like, we're not doing this again.
Yeah, I mean, imagine it was on, like, yeah, I mean, it was on the bow in northern Spain, but yeah, I mean, a few miles out there, this doesn't exist, you know, off the continental shelf. So you've got to consider that, like, and then maybe just make the miles. I think, bloody brutal.
The dolphins have come to play. At least they're having fun.
Dolphin crew have been back. Swell doesn't seem to bother them much. Probably about 6 or 8 of them, all at the bow, still there. They've been there for about 20 minutes, but it was time to come back. The swell was forecast to go from 8 foot to 7. It seems like it's gone to 9. So it's time to come back into the relative safety of the cockpit. Doing 6.5 knots under Genoa, and which is backing all the time, but seems to have wind in it about 70% of the time, I would say. So we're doing like 6.5 knots. Should be there in about an hour and 45ish, something like that. Looking forward to getting in, man.
Yes, we are fools.
What do you think, Huey? What do you think, my little darling? Three and a half miles to go, about 35 minutes. We're just coming around the headland now next to Peniche. As expected, the swell has picked up even more as the water gets shallower, and the swell comes rushing in and it's got nowhere to go but up. Got to get round this headland, get bloody well in this place and get tied to terra firma. Woo! Got the acceleration zone effect coming around the headland as we expected. Swell was a nightmare coming around this. This is the headland next to Peniche.
Right, we're in and tied up. Yui's got her grub. We've got a cup of tea ready to go. That was the first passage I think we've ever done without a cup of tea, because the prospect of coming below deck and handling boiling liquid was not going to happen.
And that's today's core workout done. So much effort just to stand up, really, wasn't it?
It was horrible.
It was rough today, like.
Oh.
I mean, we've done thousands of miles now, and that was rough as.
Yeah, it tests a person's soul, doesn't it?
It really does. At least we have souls. But let's get some lunch, man, and then a cup of tea, and everything will be fine.
It'll be much better after a cup of tea.
And you know what? Everything was better after a cup of tea. Because next time, believe it or not,
The Atlantic is flat.
It's the first day in a while, isn't it?
I feel like the Atlantic heard my moaning and
It's just saying, right, guys, have a few hours and enjoy. This is great. My soul has needed this, I tell you what.
and little Yui needed it too. Like, comment, share and subscribe, or buy us a coffee. Until next time, my nautical friends, fair winds.